Okay, another demonstration for you here. Let me explain the setup a little bit here. I've got this device right here is a sine wave generator. It is producing an electrical pulse through these black and red cords here that is hooked up to this thing, which is a vibration generator. And if you notice, this thing right here is bobbing up and down. Okay, let me turn up the, there you can see it a little bit better. And you notice if I turn this knob right here and increase that number, it increases the frequency. In other words, how many times that thing bobs up and down per second. Now it looks a little weird on the camera here because it's kind of messing with the camera, how fast the camera is as well. Now I've got this hooked up to a piece of elastic here, and it is stretched across the table and is hanging off this little pulley over here, and I've got a weight on the end of it here just to kind of keep it a little bit tight. And I can create waves on here. Now it doesn't really look that impressive right now, but if I get the frequency just right, okay, let me see if I can get it just right, we can get what are called standing waves. So I'm clicking it up, I'm up to 24 now, I started at 17 I think. Ooh, take a look at that. Now I'm going to click it one more time, I'm at 25 right now. That's 25 hertz, that's 25 waves per second. Alright, see, it went away. So I'm going to go back to 24. This is what we mean by a standing wave. What's actually happening is lots of waves are going down this string, hitting the end over here, bouncing back, but they are interfering with each other. This is also a consequence of interference. And what we have here is certain areas where we get destructive interference. These are called nodes. Notice that this part right here barely moves at all. There's another one over here. And so right now we have two nodes. And then we have these areas right here in between the nodes, one here, one over here, and one down on this end, that are called antinodes. And those places go wildly back and forth. They have constructive interference, which creates a high amplitude up here, and constructive interference, which creates a low amplitude down here, and everything in between. So these guys are constantly flipping back and forth between high amplitude, a high crest and a low trough on these transverse waves. These areas, however, always are destructive. Now this will only happen at certain frequencies. The frequency depends on the medium, the material that's carrying the wave, and that also includes how tight the string is. The medium is the string here, but it also includes how tight the string is. And it also is sort of dependent upon the wavelength. I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to click this up a little further. So that one was at 24. We got that one to work at 24, I believe. Yeah. Well, now it's not working. I guess it was 25. I take it back. It was 25. Okay, so that's 25 hertz. So now I'm going to kind of keep clicking it forward, and you'll notice it kind of goes away. Sort of. Doesn't look like much of anything's happening now. And I'm going to click it up, keep clicking. Oh, we're getting a little bit of something, but it's not quite organized yet. You can hear the frequency getting higher, right? Oh, getting close. Well, I might have to go back to that one. Right there is pretty good, I think. That is at 50 hertz. Okay, and again, we've got another setup here. Okay, I'm going to keep going. This is at 74, 75, 76, somewhere right around in there. We should get something. I'm going to go on all the way up to 100, maybe give or take a little bit. So anyway, what we should see is, what you should be noticing is that as the frequency goes up, you can hear that much higher frequency now. As that frequency goes up, the wavelength goes down. In other words, the distance between those nodes and antinodes, or between the nodes, I should say, that distance gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Here, let me show you. When we go back down to one that's right around here, it's at a lower frequency, that's at about 75. And then if I go back down to around 50, see how it gets longer. And then if I go back down to the first one I found, which was right around 25, that one's even longer. So what I want you to do is figure out what is the relationship between wavelength and frequency of a given set of waves on a given medium. There's a relationship between the wavelength of those waves and the frequency of those waves. What is that relationship?